Alright, so in this problem, I have x minus 4 to the power 4 is equal to x to the power 4. To solve this, I'm going to start by subtracting x to the power 4 on both sides. So then these two cancel out. Now I have x minus 4 to the power 4 minus x to the power 4 is equal to 0. Now I'm going to rewrite this as x minus 4 squared to the power of 2 minus x squared to the power of 2 is equal to 0. And if I have something in the form a squared minus b squared, this is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, a is x minus 4 squared, and b is x squared. So I have x minus 4 squared plus x squared times x minus 4 squared minus x squared is equal to 0. So now this gives, now if I simplify this, I get x squared minus 8x plus 16 plus x squared times x squared minus 8x plus 16 minus x squared is equal to 0. So in my right hand side, x squared and x squared, those two add up. So I get 2x squared minus 8x plus 16 times, for my right hand side, these two cancel out. So I get negative 8x plus 16 is equal to 0. So now this gives me two equations. I have 2x squared minus 8x plus 16 is equal to 0. And negative 8x plus 16 equals 0. So for 2x squared minus 8x plus 16 equals 0, I'm going to first start by dividing all my terms by 2. So now I have x squared minus 4x plus 8 is equal to 0. And now to solve this, I'm going to plug this in the quadratic formula, negative b. So negative of negative 4 plus or minus the square root of b squared negative 4 squared, which is 16, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 8, all over 2a. And this is equal to positive 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 32 all over 2, which is equal to 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 16 over 2. And the square root of negative 16, that's the same thing as the square root of 16 times the square root of negative 1. And the square root of negative 1, that's equal to the imaginary number I. So I have 4 plus or minus, the square root of 16 is 4i over 2, which is equal to 2 plus or minus 2i. And for negative 8x plus 16, I get negative 8x is equal to negative 16, meaning x is equal to 2. So these are my three solutions to this problem. Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of 4 is equal to 4. So to solve this, I'm going to first start by subtracting 4 on both sides. So then these two cancel out, and I get x to the power of 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. Now, I'm going to rewrite 4 here as 2 squared. So now I have x to the power of 4 minus 2 squared is equal to 0. And I'm going to write x to the power of 4 as x to the power of 2 times 2. So I have x to the power of 2 times 2 minus 2 squared is equal to 0. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m times n, this is equal to a to the power of m to the power of n. So x to the power of 2 times 2, I can rewrite that as x to the power of 2 to the power of 2 minus 2 squared is equal to 0. Now, if I have something in the form a squared minus b squared, this is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, a is x squared and b is 2. So I have x squared plus 2 times x squared minus 2 is equal to 0. Now, this gives me two equations. I get x squared plus 2 is equal to 0, and I also get x squared minus 2 is equal to 0. So to start, for x squared plus 2 equals 0, I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides. So then these two cancel out, and I'm left with x squared is equal to 0 minus 2, which is negative 2. Now I'm going to take the square root on both sides. So I have the square root of x squared is equal to the square root of negative 2. Square root of x squared is obviously x, so I have x is equal to positive negative square root of negative 2. And the square root of negative 2, I can rewrite this as the square root of 2 times the square root of negative 1. And if you guys already didn't know, the square root of negative 1 is equal to the imaginary number I. So I have x is equal to positive negative the square root of 2 I. Now for this one, I have x squared minus 2 equals 0. This time I'm going to add 2 on both sides. These two cancel out. And I get x squared is equal to 2. And now I'm going to take the square root on both sides. Square root of x squared is x, so I get x is equal to positive negative square root of 2. So now to check, that is actually, those are our 4 solutions to this problem. Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of 21 plus x to the power of 14 is equal to 36. So I'm first going to rewrite this as x to the power of 7 times 3 plus x to the power of 7 times 2 is equal to 36. Now, I'm going to put this as x to the power of 7 to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 7 to the power of 2 is equal to 36. Now I can let x to the power of 7 equal to the variable y. So now I have y to the power of 3 plus y squared is equal to 36. Now if I subtract 36 on both sides, these two cancel out, and I get y to the power of 3 plus y squared minus 36 is equal to 0. Now negative 36, I can rewrite this as negative 27 minus 9. And now I can rewrite this as y to the power of 3 minus 3 to the power of 3 plus y squared minus 3 squared is equal to 0. So if I have something in the form a to the power of 3 minus b to the power of 3, this is equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. And if I have something in the form a squared minus b squared, this is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, I can rewrite y to the power of 3 minus 3 to the power of 3 as y minus 3 times y squared plus 3 squared plus 3y, plus I can rewrite y squared minus 3 squared as y plus 3 times y minus 3, and this is equal to 0. Now if I factor out y minus 3, I get y minus 3 times y squared plus 9 plus 3y plus y plus 3. This is equal to 0. And this is simplifies into y minus 3 times y squared plus 4y plus 12 is equal to 0. So this gives me two equations. Y minus 3 is equal to 0, which means y equals 3. This is one solution. And y squared plus 4y plus 12 is equal to 0. So to solve this, we have to use the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And I'm not going to waste your time actually plugging them in, but if you do, you end up getting that it's less than 0, so this won't work out. So y equals 3 is my only solution to this equation. Now remember how we let x to the power of 7 equal y. So now I have x to the power of 7 equal 3, meaning x is equal to the 7th root of 3.